a clarity hits you with a stark image. As stark as, say, 1,000 corpses rising from their grave, as you see on the Judgment card. This is sort of a new era for you in an odd kind of way. You know, I feel like there's a lot of shadows or aspects of yourself that you've been sort of trying to combat or rise above. But it's almost like what happens when you just sort of lean into it. You know, I'm going to say, been cast out in a lot of ways. And, you know, you also have maybe had your fair share of moral debate. You've had your period of reflection, and you've made your strides, and kind of find yourself still flat or starting back where you were. And so it's like you found this sort of missing ingredient of maybe running towards what you're trying to avoid. Usually wherever your fear is, that's really what needs to be leaned into. It's like, can you find peace in a different kind of way here? Or even happiness? Because it's interesting, because this, you know, you could see it as some kind of like outside party, like looking at this happy picture begrudgingly. That's one way of seeing it, if that fits for you or someone around you. But also it's like, can this grief and joy exist harmoniously in sort of a real way? It does seem like you have some goals you're working towards here. But, you know, in your perspective, we have Ten of Swords. And in this context, like, you know, this is a really sort of dreadful looking card. But I really think it's a good thing here. This sort of is symbolic of the death of falsehood for you, or an old way of processing things, or trying to make yourself accept certain things or not accept certain things. This is for resurrection, because Judgment, those corpses coming out of the grave, is symbolic of one's spiritual or mental or, you know, life resurrection. But before that, you must die. You might have a lot of people confused. There's also probably a lot of different things available to you. There's conflict in the outside influence, in some way. But again, I don't know. In a lot of ways, this whole reading talks about finding a sense of freedom in a way that you would have never expected to, I guess. Seems to be working out pretty well, though. I'm going to do an advice spread. Before I do that, I want to take a moment to promote my Patreon. That is where all the extended versions of these readings go, as well as other exclusive content and monthly art prints. It's a great way to support me as a full-time creative and artist. Makes a huge difference for me. That being said, if you want to work with me on a one-on-one level, I have several options available on my Patreon for personal not my Patreon, my website in the shop for personal readings. And I'm currently having a sale on all personal readings, so it's a great time to get one if you want to. Let's see the advice. Your advice is to kind of water your garden, so to speak. Represented by the King of Pentacles. This is why I thought of watering the garden. I mean, he's grown quite a bit of abundance for himself. He's very fruitful. And, you know, he sticks to a more traditional way of doing things as far as, like, he keeps a rhythm. He, you know, shows up for the task at hand. He, you know, he's mastered the pinnacle. He's mastered how to establish himself in earthly matters. It's encouraging you to be willing to take on difficulties, exert your will, your passions forward, and bring all that you hope for into fruition. And really quite selfishly, honestly, because the outcome, it's like your Ace of Cups comes with this Five of Swords. So again, that's sort of like a new beginning that comes from a win by any means necessary sort of approach, or a more cold or calculated or willingness to harm even. I'm not suggesting you harm anyone, obviously, but I'm just talking about the card. Somebody wins and somebody loses, and if somebody's going to lose, it's not going to be you, kind of thing. And you're also maybe stepping into a more of a willingness to receive. It's sort of encouraging, like rather than trying to like control everything, just welcome what wants to come and then sort it through how you will. Clarify. And definitely like work towards probably a higher ambition or a higher goal. It has a suggestion of being very busy and very focused. It's almost like you've kind of found the clarity you were looking for. And also that clarity could talk about, or, you know, because this is the advice spread, it's like coming to that clarity, like waiting for a certain level of clarity. But I think that what you'll come to realize is that a lot of things, ultimately, that you have sought after for however long are really just sort of ultimately perpetually unfulfilling. So embrace that you're not fulfilled and go find fulfillment where it may be. Yeah. I want to take this to the extended on my Patreon. So if you want to join us over there, awesome. If not, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day.